Coming home to you. It's been some time and I've been so blue. I realize now what I always knew. Coming home to you. Flying home to you. Through open sky and morning dew. I realize now what I've got to do. Coming home to
This is our second episode, guys. Episode number 2. Thank you for tuning in. I have my co-host, Dave Kohlmeyer here. Welcome, Dave.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you having me as usual.
And listen, we're in Go Live Vegas Studios. Is this the best studio or what? Isn't it beautiful?
Go Live Vegas, always taking care of the crime solvers here.
They do. And Aaron, our producer over there, he puts up with a lot of BS from us, but he's great. Right, Aaron?
Absolutely. Definitely follow Go Live Vegas on TikTok.
Listen, Dave, so what did you do this week?
You know, actually, believe it or not, I'm exhausted. I just drove back from Los Angeles. We had to go visit somebody in LA. We just went for a day trip, just came back. And then today, just trying to solve some problems, help some people out today.
I Tuesday night, I went to Bally's, which is now the Horseshoe. I played some poker. I won $224. Played some slots. It was a good night. It was like a staycation for us, so it was a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you can get to go out to Vegas and the Strip, especially if you live here like a local, right? It's enjoyable. Plus, it's pretty reasonable, right? I mean, to go. How much did you spend the night at Bally's?
$10.
$10. The whole $10, huh?
Because I gamble. If I didn't gamble, I would have to pay the full amount. But they get, instead of comping you, they make your rooms like $8, $10, so they don't totally comp you anymore.
You know, the worst thing about these different places, the valet is actually wound up being $39. So your $10 was to stay, but to park your car was $39. I was there the other night myself.
$39 to park your car in LA.
Well, no. $39 at Bally's. I saw
Bally's?
the Extravaganza show the other day there.
Oh my
And to park your
God.
car, I don't know what how much is self-parking, do you know?
$18.
God, so somehow we were valet with the kids, but it gets expensive.
Yeah. So listen, there's a couple things we're going to go over today. Of course, we had his first court appearance, BK. Okay, Brian's court appearance in Moscow, Idaho today. So we'll go over some of the things in that. Also, you know, I went through. We got a lot of calls, a lot of messages saying go over this case, go over that case. The biggest one I got so many messages on, and we'll go over it, is going to be the Anna Walsh case out of Massachusetts. I know you're a little familiar with it too, so we'll talk about that a little bit. But Dave, do you want to show what you got and show everybody what you got? Dave actually got a replica, well, not a copy of the knife that was used in the Idaho murders.
You know, what happened was when this came out in regards to the knife, I've never really heard of this, you know, K-bar in general. I know it's like United States Marine Corps type of knife in general.
Right.
So I ordered it on Amazon just to see what it's like to feel it in general. And I got it on Amazon. But what I thought was really interesting is, you know, here basically I just have the sheath itself. And it says K-bar and United States Marine Corps. I mean, the truth is it is a huge knife. And you really got to be nuts to be carrying this around.
It is a huge knife. We don't want to show it on the podcast because we know, you know, TikTok has some guidelines, but we do have it. Dave bought it so we can take a look at it. But you want to explain where they said they found the touch DNA and everything, Dave?
Yeah, so what's interesting about this, I mean, first of all, it's a huge knife. So to me personally, like, to carry this is not normal.
Right.
I mean, unless you're into the United States Marine Corps. I don't know if any family, I don't think it was any family that he had that was military.
No.
So, I mean, maybe he's just infatuated. I know in different states, right, people are like hunters. They collect knives and guns and so on. But
right.
here particularly when they when they close it, the knife in general, I guess they actually on the little bit, what would you call this? The little snap.
snap,
The button
yeah.
snap. That they were able to maybe get some type of DNA from the spot. Originally, I thought it was blood,
Right.
but it may be just regular fingerprint. But to get fingerprinting, I'm not sure about you, Danny. In Pennsylvania, did you do any fingerprinting?
I did do fingerprinting,
Okay.
but
How
that's almost
hard?
impossible.
I mean, this is very difficult to go get. Like, if you put your thumb in, now it's not bad.
Right.
In regards to if you put your thumb on here, that you could get a fingerprint. It would be better if there was blood or
Yeah.
some type of liquid.
But they got to
DNA.
touch DNA from the fingerprint on it.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
and one of the big things that they talked about today, which I thought was interesting, is like people say, "Why would you leave this sheath? It's on the 3rd floor."
Right.
And one of the thoughts is that he didn't think that maybe it was going to be such a battle, in regards to murdering these 2 women.
Right.
And then there was a struggle, and he just leaves it there because you're not going to want to leave the evidence basically there, right? But there
Right.
was some type of the struggle, and he basically dropped it in general. So.
And you know what, Dave? If he dropped that during the struggle, that makes kind of sense that when she saw him leaving, maybe he just left because he thought, this is getting crazier. I got to get out of here before I get caught, and he just left. And I do believe he probably dropped that during the struggle. That is my theory. We have no fact on that, but if you guys want to see, let's put that up there. So that's what you're looking at. We got that. Where did you buy that, Dave?
It was just on Amazon. I mean, believe it or not, within
Yeah.
click of a button, in 2 days, it shows up at your door.
Yep.
I mean, basically anything you want to buy these days, right? You can technically buy. But like I said, it is kind of makes me nervous. It is a huge knife, and it makes me nervous that people like that, right? But knives, guns, I mean, we can be against it, but it's kind of the right to have it, right?
I'm looking real quick here at a question that came up on Facebook. They're saying, where do you think he got the knife? But really, you can buy it at a surplus store, right? Yeah, I'm sure he got this somewhere. I mean, like you said, nobody was in the military in his family that we know.
I remember being back in Pennsylvania as well, and all these like military stores
Yes.
would have this type of knife in general.
Yeah.
If you go hunting and you're in the woods in general, again, it's just scary when you got someone that's mentally ill or
Yes.
trying to commit a crime or a murder, that he has this type of weapon. Which could you imagine someone coming at you that's this type of knife at 3:30 in the morning?
It's insane.
And
I mean,
probably pitch black.
if you guys seen this, it's scary as heck. We actually have it, but we don't want to show it on TikTok because they'll probably suspend my live. So I don't want to do that. So that's why we're not showing it.
So one thing I'd like to share with you, that right now I believe they're still looking for the knives, right? So it'd be interesting in the future whether it comes up. Maybe he bought it on Amazon. Maybe he bought it at a store.
Yes.
Like to show at least the purchase. If they can't find the knife, at least that if they, right? If they can't find the knife in general, it'd be good to show that he did purchase it somewhere.
Oh my
If
God,
it was
yes.
on the internet, that'd be even greater, right?
Yes.
That somehow, or credit card transaction or cash. I mean, if it's a small town, right? Maybe he
Right.
went into a store. If someone basically can confirm that he actually purchased it, that will help the case, right? A lot of these people conspiracy, right?
Yeah.
He didn't do it. Someone dropped it off. It's not his fingerprint,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be more information that's going to come out. We can only hope and pray that they have more information like that.
Dave, a lot of people on my TikTok, and sometimes they're just trolls, but they're basically saying that they don't think this is enough evidence to convict them. I believe they probably have more evidence than this, but having your touch DNA at a crime scene is huge, especially on the case of the weapon, right? If you have, who else touched this? Okay, he did. You know what I mean? So it's huge evidence. I don't get why people don't like it. I don't know why people think he's not going to be convicted. I have no idea.
And I know a lot of people, we would discuss, we weren't sure that they had suspect information in general.
Right.
But the bottom line is, I'm sure they probably have, we can only hope, right, that they have more information
Right.
to help you to get this guy convicted. So the bottom line is we're just going to have to wait and see, right? We're not going to really know until, the case winds up going to trial. Do you think he'll take it to trial, or do you think that he's going to?
I think it's going to go to trial. Now, what happened today, and they did have a hearing, and we're going to open the phone lines in like 3 minutes. So we're going to get to your questions, I promise. The phone lines are going to open. But Dave, he had his first court appearance today. His attorney filed for discovery, which a lot of people don't know what that is. Discovery is basically anything the prosecution has, they have to turn over to the defense, because the defense has the right to look over it. The prosecution during trial can't just say, oh, by the way, look at what we have. We have the weapon. They can't do that. They have to tell them exactly what they have so the defense could put on a defense.
Got it.
So that's what they asked for today. So the attorney, I forget her name, the attorney that he has. Oh, gosh, I can't remember her. I think her first name's Ann. But he got a good attorney. They say she's very good. She is a public defender, but people in Idaho are saying she's a very good attorney.
She's respected.
Yes, she's respected,
Okay.
definitely. That's what they're saying. And Also today, I believe he waived his right to a speedy preliminary hearing. His preliminary hearing has to be within 14 days when he's in jail in Idaho. I think in Pennsylvania it had to be within 10 days. I'm remembering if they're in jail. But his attorney waived that right to a speedy preliminary hearing.
Okay.
So that's what happened today.
If the case goes to trial, what are your thoughts in regards to that? I'm not a big trial guy in regards to going to court. Do you think that even though there's a gag order that they're going to have media, just like with, what's his name, the actor,
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. I mean, there was so much media watching them. Do you think that they're going to, because so many people are kind of tainted with information, do you think they're going to basically just not have media?
I hope they have media. I think the public wants this case. The public wants this out on TV. So let's hope they do. I really hope they do.
Aaron, you need to, is there any way of zooming in because you can't really read the Facebook? If you could somehow amplify it or zoom in.
Yeah, I could see it.
No, from Facebook. Because
Oh,
okay.
okay.
From Facebook.
Okay, I got you.
We got a lot of different platforms going on. Say again?
How many attorneys does he have?
Oh, how many? I just know of the one attorney, and her name is Ann. But if he got the public defender's office, I'm sure there's going to be more than one attorney during the trial sitting there helping them. You know what I mean? And public defenders, they're going to issue them an investigator. They're going to get investigators to go out there and investigate for the defense also. Somebody is definitely saying there's two. He has two attorneys now.
I mean, the bottom line is it really comes down to evidence, but it'll be interesting, like I said, if he was to take a deal. Not a lot of people take deals, right? 95% of America, when you go to court, they're going to take a deal, unless they really think that they're going to really be able to fight the case.
Right.
It will be interesting. And sometimes they just play this game until the end just to get that better deal, right? Like a lot of people may not know how our criminal justice system works in America, but they'll negotiate back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And when the case is about to go to trial, the guy will take a deal.
And listen, Dave, if they got him, like you said, purchasing this weapon somewhere, if they got him and they got a receipt or they got it on Amazon, that's going to be huge. So then when it gets closer to trial, what they'll offer him, the only deal they can offer him in this is life in prison instead of the death penalty. So if his attorney believes that they can't win the case, they'll start recommending that plea to him. So that's how it'll work. But I don't know where you work, Dave, but the district attorney always ran it by the victim's family, and the victim's family had to agree to the plea bargain. I know that's what it was when I came. I don't know how it was with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, they'll definitely, I mean, when I was a cop in New York City, I was a cop out here in Henderson, Nevada. And,
Right.
Normally they're going to talk to the family in general, but they're not going to, they want to make sure that this case sticks one way or the other.
Yeah.
And it's just going to see how it plays out. But like I said, it'll be interesting up to the last minute, right before it goes to trial, that he may wind up taking a deal where maybe it's not the death penalty.
Right.
And like I said, if the evidence is so convincing, and I like the fact in some regards that it's kind of hush-hush, that we don't know what they have.
Right.
And I can only hope that it comes out that they really got really good evidence. And maybe, I don't think he's as smart as he thinks he is. Everyone thought that this guy was like this
Yes.
planned, murderer, and he was criminology, and he's studying it, He wasn't that smart if he's going back the next day. If he's
And he's pinging his phone, right? He left his phone on, right, Dave? He takes his own car there. So all this credit we gave him. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're going to find that he purchased this knife. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. If he purchased it recently, 2 years from now, 3 years from now that he did it, before.
Here's for our listeners that you could actually comment below. How many people think that he bought it on Amazon or a local store? You could respond below in the comments.
Yes.
Thoughts on the scratches of his
Oh,
face?
yeah. He had scratches. I watched that this morning. He had scratches. I mean, it could have been from him shaving. I believe they asked the prison how he got the scratches, and the prison believes he got it shaven. But he did have some good scratches, one right here and one up in here that I saw. So he did have 2 scratches on his face today. So they believe it's going to be 100% at a store locally where he bought that. Let's hope that, because they're going to get him. It's confirmed, shaving. Yep, TikTok saying it. So listen, what do you think? You ready to open the lines? Talk for about 15 minutes? Oh, wait, we got a question here on Facebook.
35-page document. People on TikTok are saying they saw it today. Anyone know the love started before I could research it?
I don't know. I didn't hear of that. The 35-page document. If somebody could, they were talking about a page document that was released today. I don't know what she's talking about. If everybody knows, perfect, put it in. But we'll open the lines up. Yeah, let's open the lines up. We want to hear from you. We're opening the lines right now, guys.
Press number 1.
And when you call in, press number 1, guys. Press number 1. Oh, we got a call?
No, not yet.
Not yet? That's the lines.
We're being pulled over.
I like the new lights, don't you think it?
We're being pulled over by Aaron over here. Okay, so number again,
right.
1-833-847. 7227 as we're being pulled over here in the studio. You guys can call in, press 1. Any questions that you have, you can remain anonymous. You don't have to give your name and information.
Yep.
Any questions if you want to share? We got a first caller. Go ahead.
All right, we got our first caller. Hey, you got Dave and Danny here. Who do we have? Name and where are you from?
Billy from DC again, man. Nice to talk to you guys again.
Oh, Billy, thanks for calling again. You had some great questions last time. What's up today,
Hey,
Billy?
listen, first off, where can I send you a gift at? Do you have a post office box or is it on a website somewhere? I got the best present for you.
Actually, if you go to thecrimesolver.com, there is an address located there. You can click on it, and there'll be an address you can mail it. Everything's on thecrimesolver.com.
Okay, first of all, let's go on some couple points that I still want to mention.
Okay.
The guy's not cuffed in the courtroom, which just drives me bananas. If you remember the Ted Bundy case, they didn't cuff him, and he ended up escaping.
Good point.
That's crazy. They didn't cuff him again. I wonder if that's just an Idaho thing, man. I don't know.
But you see it, he's not cuffed. And if you remember Bundy, he escaped from the courtroom, remember?
I do remember that. That's crazy. I don't know why they don't have him cuffed.
And just by the way he looks at his defense attorney, he creased me out.
Yes,
It's ridiculous.
the guy's scary. I got to agree with you. I mean, I could tell in his eyes, he's just a scary individual.
Especially when he looks her up and down. That would drive me bananas. I don't know how a CO can let this guy not be handcuffed in the courtroom, especially on such a serious crime. But let's move forward.
All right, I agree with you. During the trial, of course, they're not going to have him handcuffed because he looks guilty during the trial.
True.
You know, I understand that, but just for
it's
this
not
court
gonna-
appearance, I agree with you.
It's not going to go to trial anyways. But okay, so the knife thing. The knife thing is definitely a way they should go back and trace the knife. I don't believe he bought it on Amazon. I believe he bought it or he had someone purchase it for him at an Army-Navy store. You can buy those easily at any Army-Navy store. Now, the problem is, did he buy it in Idaho or Washington? I don't think so. You see more of these stores on the East Coast. So, to me, and in rural areas. So, to me, he bought that knife back in Pennsylvania for sure. He didn't buy it locally. No way.
In Pennsylvania, I know
No
when,
way at all.
when I was in PA, there's knife stores all over.
I agree with him. On the East Coast, them Army and Navy stores are everywhere. Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, downtown in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, they have an Army Navy store. So yeah, he could, and that's not far from where he lives.
Yeah, he could have bought the knife there.
Yeah.
The other problem I have is this guy having a public defender, and I know he's broke in a parentheses, but his parents, they got cash. Like, I'm surprised they haven't got him a high-priced attorney yet. This is ridiculous. Like, they're trying to turn this into a circus.
I mean, it's very possible. A lot of times, get the public defender where they're basically interviewing different attorneys, private attorneys, pricing and stuff like that. I mean, Danny and I basically worked in criminal defense law firms as well to basically get that experience. But the bottom line is, it could be just a way of stalling for time because the case is going to go. I mean, it's not like he's getting out anytime soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, thank you, boys. I'll talk to you later.
No problem. Hey, call again next week, man. We appreciate it.
All right, bye.
I just said his parents don't have money. They filed for 2 bankruptcies. I didn't see that, but that's what people are saying. So that kind of makes sense. But Dave, I could still see like a high-priced attorney trying to take this case over. Do you agree?
So for some of our listeners out there and that are viewing us as well, some criminal defense attorneys, basically, they think that they're going to get a name out of themselves. They'll take a case pro bono.
Okay.
And so the bottom line is that it's very simple. We got another call
Oh, we
coming
got
out.
another call. Hi, you're on the Crime Solver with Dave and Danny. Your name and where are you from?
Hey, this is Kathy, and I'm in Oregon.
Hey, Kathy, how's Oregon today? How's the weather?
It's raining.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully it'll clear up for you. So, do you have a question for us?
Actually, I have earlier on the live, you mentioned that you hope that the media is allowed in the courtroom when this goes to trial. But as someone very connected to law, the judge, this is a very high-profile case, and there is no way the judge is going to allow it to turn into a media circus, and neither will the prosecution. And I say that because the defense is going to use every possible nook and cranny to scream,
Unfair trial.
this is an unfair trial. he can't get a fair trial here because everybody wants to see him hang. And so the judge and the prosecution are going to keep everything very close to the vest. And just like with the discovery, yes, they have to give all discovery to the defense. That's the law. But at the same time, the way they approach it is totally up to the prosecution and the witnesses, and because of the different witnesses that they're going to call and the jury selection, the media is going to be pretty much blacked out. I guarantee it.
Okay, well, I hope you're wrong because I kind of really want to hear this case, but you're probably right. But, you think about the O.J. Simpson case. That was really high profile, too, and they still had the cameras in the courtroom. But maybe this judge, smaller town, he won't allow it.
Exactly. Now, when O.J. Simpson went on trial, it was in L.A. He was a celebrity, and that case right there actually was a big format for scaling back the media circus.
Right.
And because O.J. Simpson was declared innocent by popularity. And we all know he wasn't.
I don't think with O.J. Simpson there wasn't that much like social media as is now. Like with
That's
TikTok
true.
and Instagram.
That's true.
So we're like 100 times enhanced in regards to getting that information out there where it could taint
Yeah, that's
like one
true.
of the jurors, right?
I agree. Yeah, it's social media has
Exactly.
changed everything. You're right. Well, listen, thank you for the call.
And-
Please watch every week.
And as one more thing, as far
Okay.
as his knife, as far as that knife goes,
Yes.
I'm anxious to find out exactly what they have regarding the purchase of that knife.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be huge. If they could find he purchased this knife, huge.
Yes. But that's all I wanted to say was
Thank-
don't expect a media circus because everybody's got their podcasts and their online and their lives, and we've already convicted him, so the judge and the prosecution are going to make sure there's no little loopholes there.
All right, thank you for the call, and please continue to watch. All right, if you have any more questions, call back.
Every week.
All right,
Thanks,
thank
guys.
you.
You know what's interesting? My gut feeling is now is that the knife does come from Pennsylvania.
I
it doesn't
think
come
so,
'cause
too. I think he
remember,
was right.
because I always remember as a kid when I would go up from New York City, Pennsylvania, and I would go up to Poconos and stuff.
Yep.
There was I was in factory, right? Ninja, Stars, my cousin Steven here.
Yeah.
We used to get all the knives and stuff being in factory as a kid, but I definitely feel that knife comes from Pennsylvania.
I agree, too. They
Yeah,
have all the
basically from
Army
college,
and Navy
right?
stores, and everybody's a hunter in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I'm going to guess
So,
that, too.
I'm assuming the local police, or even the FBI, are going out to all these different places in Pennsylvania to hey, did this guy buy a knife in general?
Yes.
Or even the major manufacturing companies, like checking to see how many were right. You could check how many are even probably shipped.
Yes.
To Pennsylvania or Idaho as well.
And I was thinking even a pawn shop, right? You can get these knives at a pawn shop. Here's the thing. When I had a case where it was a theft or some kind of burglary ring or something like that, the first thing you did was we went to all the pawn shops in the area. Has anybody been dropping stuff off? Or maybe they stole wire and they went to, not wire,
Copper.
copper and aluminum, taking in them things. So there's all different ways. So they're going to hit every store in that area. Every store.
But I wouldn't think that a pawn shop they would take in a knife, would you? I mean, it's kind of a cheap item.
I don't know.
I mean, this was only, actually, I think this was about $65.
65?
Yes, I don't
That's
think.
expensive.
So I don't think, what do you call it? I don't think that a pawn shop would really take it, right? I mean, like to give money back, like for something like that,
They might. Oh, we got a phone call. Hey, you're on the Crime Star with Dave and Danny. What's your name and where are you from?
This is Mike from Kentucky.
Hey, what's going on? You said Mark?
Mike,
Mike.
Oh, Mike from Kentucky. Hey, welcome, Mike. What's your question?
would the sheath be enough to convict him, or did they actually need the knife?
You never need the weapon. The weapon always helps. Let's be honest. I mean, if they got the weapon, it would be huge. But I think having his touch DNA on here, I think it's huge. But that's going to be up to a jury. But you always want more evidence. I hope and pray they have him somewhere. Even if they don't find the knife, they have that he was purchased somewhere. That's my hope.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. I mean, they could convict him with just this, but it would be better if they, at least have him purchasing it. You know what I mean? That would be huge.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for calling, man, and continue to watch. We appreciate it.
All right, Dan, thank you, bud.
All righty.
It's interesting that people are, I know you got a large following all over,
Yeah.
but it's funny to hear like different people like Kentucky and different places.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Or Wales and stuff like that. I know someone was trying to call him from Wales. It is 800 numbers. If you're able to call the number, basically, again, 1-833-847-7227. When you call that number, press 1. It's at the Go Live Vegas studio. It's in Las Vegas Central. So if you need to call, have a question, we love getting questions. We love sharing our background experience. I was a cop for 17 years. Danny was a cop and detective for 27 years. So combined, we have different experiences as well. We were both cops in different areas.
There it is. Look at that. Look at the lights. We have the great lights, and we have a siren day.
We have to call it in. All right, so we're gonna call.
Oh, we got another call. This is great. Hey, you reached the Crime Solvers, Dave and Danny. What's your name and where are you from?
Hi, my name's Cindy. I'm from New Jersey.
Cynthia from New Jersey. How's New Jersey today? I miss the East Coast. I miss Wildwood. I miss the Jersey Beach. I miss everything.
Cold. It's cold.
Cold.
It's cold. Okay, listen.
All right, go ahead.
I don't know if this was asked already, but do you think that he had been in that house before to stake it out? Because he was only in there for 9 minutes. You'd have to pretty much know where you're going in the dark within 9 minutes. And he went out. Oh, and the sliding door was unlocked. Right? That's how he got in.
Yes.
That's how he got out. So
Ye-
how did that happen?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he was in that house before. And I'll let Dave comment on this too. Cynthia, I was an active shooter trainer. And when I say that, it wasn't for cops. It was actually for citizens on how to survive an active shooting incident. So I studied these cases. And the Columbine incident, the Virginia Tech incident, they actually they'll surveillance the place they're going to hit. And they did it for 6 months in the Virginia Tech incident because we're all creatures of habit. We all do the same thing every day. So my guess is he was in that house. He surveillanced that home for weeks before he did this. And as sick as this sounds, criminals want to be successful. That's why they do this. It's like a practice for them. So do I believe he was in that house? I do believe he was in that house before.
Yeah. And then who left the sliding glass door? Who left that open for him to be able to get in?
Yeah, I don't know who left that. That is very strange. But I did read somewhere that these college kids, they would leave their door open and just lock their bedroom doors because people were in and out of the house. I know that sounds crazy, but I did hear college students do that before, so that might be it. You have any comments on that, Dave?
I get it.
By the way, take this small piece and put it on you just in case.
All right.
Some said TikTok they can't hear as well. Facebook has a better feed, is what I'm saying. I will share one thing is this: up in Buffalo, there was a white guy basically that hunted down people in the supermarket, and killed a bunch of people. But they were saying that he was there for like 12 to 18 months. Like he really was, doing a recon, in regards to it. And a lot of criminals do that, even if they're mentally ill or even intelligent. They want to check the area, escape routes, and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see. I feel like somehow he tried to date one of the girls, was rejected, maybe was at the house one time, or maybe just, he was on the third floor when it started, leaves this, the sheath that's there and goes down. So, it'll be very interesting just how it pans out. But yeah, of course, it seems like he knows the layout of the home.
Cynthia, and them Columbine kids, they planned the shooting for a year and a half before they did it. So yes, criminals definitely, they plan these attacks, and I believe that was a party house. So he might have been in there just for parties, because you know how college kids are. They have parties. They don't care who shows up. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking. He went there to a party. He scoped out the entire house, and he knew that they left that sliding glass door. That's a good point. He left that sliding glass. He knew they left it open.
Yep, I agree with you.
In and out. Oh, good. Okay, good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And please watch every week, Cynthia, and call anytime you have a question.
I watch every day.
All right,
Every
thank
day.
you.
Okay, thanks, guys. Bye.
All righty. Dave, that's a good point. I mean, this is what they're saying. They're saying this was like a party house. So they would lock their bedroom doors, but keep the doors open to the house. But college kids are like that. You know, people in and out. It's a party house. And you got to realize, Idaho, Moscow, now I've never been there, but you're looking at a small town. 20, 30,000 people, right? In between there somewhere. Everybody knows everybody, so you feel more relaxed. You keep the doors open. There's probably not a lot of crime in Idaho, Moscow. That's my guess. You know what I mean?
On Facebook, Kathy and Sarah basically have left some comments. So they thought maybe that if it's a rental home, that photos are online, that he could have learned the layout by looking at pictures if it was a rental place, because a lot of college students are renting, different locations. I mean, did he go that advanced to look up that home in general? It'd be interesting. I mean, you never know. And then I guess pictures of maybe in social media of the house in general. It's possible.
Oh, got another call. Hey, you're on with the Crime Solvers, Dave and Danny. Who's this and where are you from?
This is Chris from Alabama.
Chris from Alabama. Well, welcome, Chris. What's your question?
Well, first of all, I just want to say I am a huge fan.
Yes! You're more of a fan of mine than
okay.
Dave's, though, right? I'm just kidding.
Say what now?
I said you're more of a fan of mine than Dave's, but I'm just kidding him.
I am actually, this is my first time watching the show, but yes, now I'm a fan of David.
All right. Dave.
There you go. Danny likes a lot of the attention.
I like
throughout the
attention.
week.
Dave has to keep my ego going. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
So what's up, Chris? Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. My question is, today I read that when the cops pulled up, that basically they could smell the blood outside the house. What I don't understand is how these roommates saw the bodies. You know they saw the blood. Why would they thinking that they were just asleep or just passed out or whatever? I just don't understand the roommates.
I'll be honest with you, I don't either. That bothers me, and I take a lot of heat for it online, but it is just a normal question. We're not blaming the roommates. We understand she was a scared young girl, you know what I mean? But it is very strange how you see this and not know. And they said, right, she called 911 and said he was unconscious. I mean, if you saw the blood, you know it's more than unconscious. That's what's weird to me. You know what I mean?
That's what I don't understand. And like I said, I mean, I keep up with you and watch other people on TikTok. And I mean, like I said, they're saying that when the cops pulled up, you could literally smell the blood outside the house. So I just don't understand it.
Hey, we're with you too. And I'm sure we're going to get these answers when the trial comes up.
I truly hope so. I'm curious to see how it all goes down.
Thank you so much for calling. And please watch us every week. Call back if you have any other questions.
I will do.
Thanks so much. The one thing they were saying is that, she was a good witness at the end, as much as she waited 8 hours, that she was probing 2 or 3 times, looking outside.
Mark Furman was saying that, right?
Yeah. They were seeing the bushy eyebrows and then seeing maybe the car and stuff like that. So, people were saying give her a little bit more credit. Again, she didn't know. She wasn't thinking, there's 4 dead bodies, inside the house. So we got to give her a little bit of credit. We don't know the story. We shouldn't second guess and quarterback her situation. Traumatic experience. Could you imagine just going through that? Like I said, she didn't know. She was probing, hearing noises. Maybe she went back to her room, went to sleep.
And you know what the other thing is, like you said, all the facts didn't come out yet, so I'm sure it will.
We got another caller?
Hi, this is the Crime Solvers, Dave and Danny. How could I help you? Name and where are you from?
Hey, I'm Morgan, and I'm from Philadelphia.
Morgan, Philadelphia Eagles. Let's go.
Yeah.
So what's up, Morgan?
So I don't want to get lost in the details about blaming the roommate Dylan, but did you hear that the search warrant was sealed, and we're not allowed to see what they think they'll find in the search warrant?
I did hear that. Yes, and that usually only happens in drug warrants. I was surprised about that.
Right, and so I saw something with 2 criminal defense attorneys when they heard, hey, we can't disclose what we think we'll find because it might lead to the premature end of the investigation, which would then harm public safety. Now, everyone thinking is he has an accomplice.
Right, and you know what? I don't think that. That's a weird statement to say it's a danger to the public by releasing that, so I don't know what that is. But my gut feeling is he doesn't have an accomplice. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong in this case before. But I don't think he has an accomplice. But it is weird that they said that.
You remember when they first arrested him, the first thing he asked was, have they arrested anybody else?
Yes, I did hear that. I think it was just to throw people off. Honestly, I really think that.
Right.
But that's my guess. I could be wrong.
Yeah, like you said, we'll find out in June.
Yeah, we'll definitely find out in June. But I hope they have some good evidence on that warrant that they did, because that was the warrant for his apartment that they sealed.
Yeah, his Washington apartment.
Yes.
I think that we're allowed to learn more about it in March unless his team files for an extension, but even then, March is so far away.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for calling. I appreciate it. Please watch every week.
You got it.
Thank you. Dave, so they sealed the search warrant, and that, what she's saying is they said that they don't want to release the search warrant because, like, it's an endanger to the public. It's weird to me that they said that. But I don't know why they said that. But I can tell you this. If they sealed that search warrant, they got something in that house. I would think, right? In that search warrant, I would think they found something in his apartment.
You know, these days, again, social media with a frenzy. I mean, if there's information that was given out of a location or something, I mean, people would start going to the location. You know, we even talked about it. We're in Vegas. Hey, we'll go to Idaho, right? I mean, there's other people that would just go out there, go to the house, go to different locations. Kimberly, you said here, do you think that the study that he did was actually to recruit people? Do you think the study he did was actually to recruit people?
He was working. I guess he was studying criminology and stuff, and I guess he's starting to talk about, like, did he recruit people to do this with him? I personally think he did this by himself. I think that most murderers do it by themselves. We got another question there.
Basically, it says computers were a treasure. I could see that being dangerous to the public. Maybe I guess it depends on the information.
Yeah.
They don't want to release all the information when they have to investigate the case still, and they have to prepare, for going to trial. They don't want to release all this information, and also possibly taint jurors, right? I mean, it's not like a jury's been selected, right? So you want to keep this information, right?
Yeah.
Chris, a huge fan of David now. Thanks for answering my question, y'all. All right, we're gonna listen. Danny goes on every single day.
Thanks, Chris.
So, Chris, I appreciate that. I appreciate the support and love. Listen, Danny goes on every day. He's got a lot of time with himself, but he's great and he's engaging and loves sharing information. So I'm on the podcast weekly as a co-host. But if you're becoming a Dave fan, I appreciate that.
I pray they felt no pain. Also, I believe that these roommates fought back, though. That's why he lost that sheet. I definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can visualize it and see that something was going down, and basically there's a struggle. He winds up leaving it. Some people were saying, why did he come in with the sheath, right? Why didn't he just come in normally? The bomb was, I'm assuming it wasn't secured to his belt, and he just came in with it, holding it together. Would you agree?
Yeah,
I know there's a call coming in.
I agree.
Would you agree that it wasn't on his belt? Because right here,
Yeah.
if you look at it, you could basically put it in the belt. Would
Yeah.
you? Because he left it there, it would still be on his belt. So he basically was holding it somehow, or pulled it out
Yes.
and took it out, because this should technically
Be on his belt.
belt.
I agree.
So we know that for sure.
Oh, sorry, we have a caller. Hi, caller. Sorry for the delay. You're with Danny and Dave.
No worries. This is Amanda. I'm from New York.
Anna from. Did you say Anna?
Amanda, right?
Amanda from New York.
Amanda, yes.
Hey, welcome. Where are you from in New York?
Long Island.
Oh, awesome. Dave's actually he was a New York City cop for 4 years, right?
You mean to say You mean to say Strong Island, right?
Strong Island, yes.
That's what they call it. Strong. What part of Long Island?
I live in Patchogue, Suffolk County.
Okay. I was NYPD for 3 years, and I was MTA police for 9 months. So I used to patrol the train from Penn Station, out even to your neck of the woods, out almost all the way out to Montauk.
Okay, awesome.
So what's your question? What's going on?
So I have a couple of things that bother me. One with the DoorDash, do you know at at the beginning when they first showed the pictures and you always saw the bag of Xana's DoorDash, and it was in the kitchen. So did she actually eat in the kitchen? Was she out of her room? That's one thing that keeps on coming to me, because I just find it weird that it wasn't in her room. She wasn't eating in her room, so she was out of her room. She brought it to the kitchen.
That's a good question. I was having trouble hearing it, but I think what you said was she ordered the DoorDash and she didn't eat it in her room. She actually ate it in the kitchen. Is that what you're saying?
She did, and she brought the bag out. You always saw that bag, and even in the very beginning of the first criminal photos that came out, it was in the kitchen.
Right.
like on the counter.
Could you put the phone up a little, Aaron? Because we're having trouble hearing it.
Oh, sorry, I'm driving.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Now I can hear you. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think the DoorDash thing's going to definitely come into effect somewhere. She ordered DoorDash, Dave, at 4 o'clock in the morning, right? It was delivered. And why didn't she, your question is, why didn't she just eat it in her room, correct?
No, not even that. It's just, I keep now questioning, was she in her room when he found her? Or was she, were they, in the kitchen area? It just, I don't know. It was just something that was bothering me because that bag was found on the counter. It wasn't in her room.
Right. I agree with you. I think it was.
Timeline was so short.
I think that she was found in the room, but I think the guy was found by the door. Correct?
I thought she was found on the floor of her room, and he actually was in the bed. But I could be wrong.
I could be wrong too. I don't know exactly where they did that at. Yeah, somebody said the DoorDash was a surprise to them too.
Yeah, because it's just weird. There was such a short time frame. So if she got the DoorDash at 4 o'clock, and it was in the kitchen, was she in that room? I don't know. It was weird. And then my other thing was,
People can't hear.
Dylan did see this killer, didn't he have to have blood on him? She didn't. Or do you think it was just so dark that she couldn't see that?
Yeah, the question here is, and I'm just telling the call's not coming through good. I'm going to tell my followers. The question is, when Dylan saw him, couldn't she see blood on him? My guess it was dark. And if he was wearing dark clothing, even blood on dark clothing, it's hard to see. Even if in a crime scene when they have dark clothing, it's very hard to see the blood. So it could be that. But I agree with you. Yes, you would think you would have blood on them.
Yeah, or his face, because she was able to describe his eyebrows and things like that. So those are just two things that kept coming to me. So.
Understand. Well, thank you, Amanda, for the call. Please watch every week, okay?
Yeah, I love you. Thanks so much.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Aaron, real quick, TikTok people are saying that they can't hear us. I'm not sure what we need to do about that. And then they said you're super loud.
I know. That's why I put it this way.
Maybe it's better over there. I put it over here.
All right.
By the way, if you guys, like I said, this is the second week of the podcast over here at Go Live Vegas. We're trying to do multiple platforms. So keep commenting and let us know, if you hear us, is it too loud, too low? And then we're just trying to fix things as it goes. Someone wants to know a recap about what, they're probably from another country. What was court today again? Today was what?
This is what happened at the court today, okay? They waived their right to a speedy preliminary hearing. In fact, we just saw it. The next court date is going to be June 26th for him. It's actually in the news right in front of us right now. So basically, he waived his right to a speedy hearing because you're supposed to have it within 14 days when you're in jail in Idaho. Then he asked for discovery. Discovery is all the evidence they have against him. So the defense will get every single piece of evidence they have right now against him. And if new evidence shows up, they will have to turn that over to the defense because the defense has the right to go through all the evidence so they have a defense against it. And I'm sorry I'm so loud out there, guys. I'll tone it down a little. It's my Italian voice. Dave doesn't have that.
No, I don't. I'm just reading the comments that are coming on TikTok and general like that.
He did waive his right to a speedy trial.
We got a call.
Hi, you're on with the Crime Solvers, Dave and Danny. Who do we have and where are you from?
Hi, it's Jane and I'm calling from the UK.
Oh, awesome. We got a UK. Well, thank you for watching us and thank you for calling in. So what can we help you with?
Obviously, the news we're getting here is very, very limited. So we're having to watch it all on TikTok.
Okay.
So I'm not sure whether this question has already been answered. But what I don't understand is the amount of blood that was everywhere. Surely to God, there must have been a trail leading out the back, the front. How has that not been picked up?
I totally agree with you. They had to have a trail of him leaving that house. I assume that didn't come out yet because I can't see committing these murders and not having some type of blood on you, stepping in it, whatever, and leading out of there. Because, there was probably a struggle. So I'm sure he wasn't watching where he stepped. So he probably stepped in blood and trailed it out of the house. I will be shocked if there's not a trail. I think it just wasn't released yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
My last question is, Danny, where's your jumper from?
What was what?
Where's your sweater from?
Oh, your sweater. They like your sweater.
Oh, my sweater. My daughter, thank you. I appreciate it. My daughter actually bought this for me, okay, for Christmas. And I'm actually looking what company actually she bought it from so I could put it online, because you're not the only person that wants to get a sweater like this. But I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so
keep up
much.
the good work, guys, because we're relying on you in the UK for as much news as possible.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for listening, and please call anytime.
By the way,
Okay, take care, guys.
Thank
care.
you.
By the way, if you're interested, and the crimesolver.com, if you're looking for merchandise, I guess we're going to have to get that one on there as well.
I'm actually found it on Amazon.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah.
It's a Crime Solver edition American flag hoodie sweatshirt there. But if you want, we have some really cool shirts and some different merchandise. So if you go to crimesolver.com, click on merchandise. Let me know what you think about the designs. We have a new design that's called the Crime Solvers, and it's kind of a character of Danny and I, possibly a future TV show that we believe that eventually will take place.
Yes.
Take a look at it. Tell us if you think there's another merchandise that we should have, or a different type of graphic or something like that. Hopefully we'll have a few shirts come here next week, coffee mugs, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody, I don't know if we said this, but somebody wanted to correct this, but I thought I said that right. He waived his right to a speedy preliminary hearing, not trial. So if I did say trial, I was wrong. But it's a preliminary hearing. He has the right to have a preliminary hearing within 14 days. What a preliminary hearing, guys, is it's not guilt or innocence. The judge has to decide, was a crime committed? And was this person probably involved? If the judge could do that, it gets sent to trial. Hi, this is Dave and Danny, Crime Solvers. Who do we have on the line, and where are you from?
Hi, this is Chris from Detroit.
Hey, Chris from Detroit. Listen, you got to be proud of your Detroit Lions, right?
All day. All day.
And I love your coach, too. So what can we help you with, Chris?
Absolutely. I have my own theory, and I wanted to see what you guys
Yeah,
thought
tell
about
us
it.
your theory.
And,
Chris is going to tell us his theory.
I know a lot of people have different, thoughts about the situation. What I'm thinking is that the young lady that lived, that was in the basement, came out of her room 3 times. I think that after the stabbing of 4 people, maybe there was a bone hit or something along those lines. The reason I believe this is because the police chief said that he was 100% positive that they caught their guy. I'm thinking that either the knife broke off or separated from the handle or something along those lines is the reason why the girl in the basement lived. He didn't have anything to defend himself.
Wow, and you know what? That actually could be a good theory. You're totally right. So you think he might have broke the knife off and then he was just out of there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what? I never heard that theory, but you know what? Since we don't have all the information, I mean, you could be right. I mean, what do you think, Dave?
You just never know these days. I mean, anything's possible, right? We thought that they didn't have a suspect, and they had a suspect, right?
That's
so,
true.
I mean, anything's going to be possible, and we're going to see how it goes.
But I'll tell you this. I'm with you. I believe the chief was very confident that they got the right guy.
So what do you think about all the negativity on the DNA found on the button? I'm a strong believer in it. I do understand transfer of DNA, but why would his DNA be in the house in the first place?
Exactly. I don't get it either. Like, people are saying, he's innocent, you watch. And I don't know if you saw, I did a TikTok. I said, if this man is found not guilty, I'm so convinced that they have the right guy, I will run down the Las Vegas Strip in my underwear with hearts on it. I don't know if you saw my last video. I did say that because I'm convinced this is the right guy. Listen, he can't be so unlucky that it's 1 in a trillion chance about your DNA, and his happened to be in the house, and he happened to ride by the house,
Right.
and he happened to do all these other things. It's too coincidental.
You know, if he didn't date any of the girls, and unless he was there for a house party, but they were saying he was so awkward and had issues that I just really can't see. I mean, it's very possible that he was in the house one time if there was a party and he did show up, even if he was awkward and so on. And again, that stuff will wind up coming out.
Which is true, but why would a knife case be in the bed of a girl's bedroom? I mean, how many parties have you went to? And you went to their bedroom, you know?
How much of you did you see before we were showing the actual sheath? And this is actually the button where.
Yeah, that's the actual one.
Yeah, where they actually located it. Like I said, I've done personally, I've done some fingerprinting before. For them to actually get the DNA is absolutely amazing. Because I used to have that dust print all over the place.
Yes.
For them to actually get that is truly amazing.
It is.
It'll be very interesting. I mean, great job on the crime scene there.
Yeah. I'm glad they called the FBI out, too, because when you have a small PD, and I work for a small PD, you need help from others because you just don't have the equipment. You just don't have the manpower.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Hey, thank you for calling. We appreciate
You guys have
it.
a great evening.
All right, you too. Listen, that is a good point. Somebody else brought up a good point. They said maybe he left the other two roommates alive, so we would all blame them, and the cops would blame them because it doesn't make sense. And I did hear that theory too, but I never heard the theory that maybe the knife broke, through all of this, and that's why he left the other two. So there's different theories. It's going to come out in trial because the two surviving victims, our roommates, are going to definitely testify.
Absolutely.
So we're going to know more.
I want to just real quick, I want to just say two things. Someone talked about a meet and greet situation,
Right.
That they wanted to meet us as well, even though we're in Vegas. There is something coming up, which is a little bit further away, but it's called CrimeCon, and it's crimecon.com, and it's in Orlando, September 22nd to 24th. I'm hoping that Danny and I will have a booth out there, and then we can meet a bunch of people. So if you want to put that date down, that's tentative. September 22nd to 24th in Orlando. It's crimecon.com, and you get to meet a lot of people if you like true crime and stuff. Go ahead. We got a quick caller.
Awesome. Hi, this is the Crime Solvers, Dave and Danny. Your name and where are you from?
This is Chris from Lexington, Kentucky.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
What can we help you with? What's your question?
What the gentleman said here before me about the bone, possibly the knife breaking off in the bone. Another thing, I'm a former corrections officer, and I've seen when inmates do a crime or their adrenaline's pumping so much, could that have also been a possibility why he was done?
That's true.
He was done with what he did, and he just walked past her and had no desire to do anything else. It was just the adrenaline was pumping so much that he just walked out.
Right. And you said you're a corrections officer?
A former corrections officer, yes. In the
Okay,
federal
so you've
system. I've
seen
seen inmates do.
I'm sure you've seen violence with knives and, weapons that they homemade made, right?
Yeah, and once they're done, if that adrenaline's pumping so much, I've seen them that's it. There's no more. I mean, they could take other people out, but that was all they had.
That's all he had left. So he was like, I'm done. I'm out of here. Yeah, I mean, that could be a possibility. It could have just been him saying, I'm done. I'm out of here.
Yeah, it wasn't he could have killed him, but he did what he did, and that was it.
Yep, I agree. Thank you so much for calling. I watch every week, and if you have any other questions, call back.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Now, Dave, I had a lot of calls lately, like people wanting us to go over their cases. I knew we weren't going to be able to do a lot today because of the Idaho case, but I do want to bring up one case that people brought up to me. It's this missing mother from Massachusetts. Her husband is now in jail for basically obstructing of justice. That's basically what he's doing because he's giving investigators false information. They set his bail at $500,000. Her name is Anne Schwab. He said on January 1st she was going to a business meeting. Now, he lives in Massachusetts in Washington. He said she took an Uber and she booked her flight and was going to fly to Washington, and they confirmed that that's a lie. Okay, she never took an Uber. She never booked a flight. She is just missing, and he's uncooperative. So my guess is on a charge of obstructing justice, $500,000, they definitely think he did it, or his bail wouldn't be $500,000 on that charge.
Well, it's crazy because supposedly, first of all, if you're going to lie about that, I mean, with technology, right? You could look up to see whether or not someone took an Uber. You could look to see whether or not she planned the trip.
Yes.
You could look up the digital, evidence to see whether or not whatever she did on the internet or whatever he did. And then I understand that they found a broken piece of the knife with some blood,
Yes.
possible DNA. Again, a lot of these things go back to DNA these days. The technology is there.
Right.
And a lot quicker to come back, especially if, what they were saying is that they have the toothbrush and other things in the home, combs, hair, to basically match the blood that's in the knife in the basement.
Just what I'm reading with this Walsh case, I mean, Brian Walsh is going to definitely be charged with murder very soon. I mean, I think that's why he's in jail on $500,000, and they're just waiting for the DNA to come back.
Was the house arrest or?
No, he was on a house arrest because he committed fraud.
Yeah, that's right.
So he was on probation and everything for fraud. Now his wife's missing. This guy's done. So, I mean, we'll wait and see what happens, but my guess is he's in jail, and they're just waiting for the DNA to come back.
And I believe he's the one that went to Home Depot, spent like $600 in cleaning
Yes.
supplies. When's the last time he went to Home Depot to buy $600 worth of cleaning supplies?
So, I mean, this guy's going to be convicted. This is horrible. This is absolutely horrible, but he's definitely going to be convicted. So please send in anything you have, guys, anything. We will go over the case. We knew that this would take a lot of our time because the hearing was today, but anything you have, please send it in. Yep, $450. He spent $450 on cleaning supplies. So, I mean, that's definitely. And his Google searches. I agree with you guys. But getting back to the case, we got 6 minutes here. We could take probably one more call if anybody wants to call in. But Dave, now that we got a question here. Could you read that, Dave? My eyes are blind.
It says a 3-year-old little girl basically missing in Oklahoma, and people should look into that. We could look things up as well.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's good. Suspicious circumstances. Urge people to look into it. Very small town.
I-
We'll look it up. We can talk about it as well.
Yeah, we'll
next time.
definitely look in Brownfield. Okay, sounds good. Definitely. Red flag. Yes, there are red flags all over the guy in Massachusetts. I mean, everything he did was everything a suspect would do. I believe he's going to be easier convicted than BK because there's more evidence I see coming with this case. Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so much more. I mean, especially it's at the house, the DNA, the knife. He goes to Home Depot. He's spending money. He's lying. He's on probation, parole or probation.
They
like
love
his
this
shirt
sweater,
again.
Dave. They love this sweater.
Recap as well. Some people were saying, a few people today, it'll be interesting if they want to mail to us. But if you go to thecrimesolver.com, everything is on the Crime Solver. Anything you want to contact us, if you want to mail something to us, everything is there. If you want to leave comments, you want to email, everything is a few click of the buttons. You want to buy merchandise, you want to support us, whatever you want to do, basically thecrimesolver.com. So please share that online, all the different social media platforms.
Yeah, Dave, I'll tell you what, I was shocked. I don't know if the people knew, but we had 26,000 people watch this podcast last week. That is amazing to start a podcast and have that many people watch it.
Absolutely.
Now it's going to be, we'll be able to see how many people watch this after today, but I'm so thankful for the support. And look at the support we get from the UK. Do you think this will go to trial? Yes, I do. I mean, there's a question from Laura from the UK. We got fans from the UK, South Africa, Australia. Dave, I told the people this, and I totally believe it in my heart. We're going to be the #1 true podcast out there. It's just a matter of time within the next 4-6 months. We're definitely going to be.
Yeah, no, we appreciate the support, you guys. Danny's great every single day going out there talking on TikTok. Every single week we're going to do the podcast, talk about things that you want, answer some questions. Again, our backgrounds in general, we're very, very real, both from the East Coast, even though we live out in Las Vegas now. We want to share information. We also want to take information, share it, and then whatever we can do to help out. The goal really is to get the community involved, help solve some crime by sharing information, educating the public about what's going on. We also...
we could take one last call?
One more call, yeah.
Yeah, we got 4 minutes left. Hi, this is the Crime Solvers. You're with Dave and Danny, and you are our last caller today. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, could I have your name
Hey.
and where you're from?
I'm from Charlotte. My name's Wade.
Hey, good, and welcome. So what's your question?
Oh, I just wanted to comment on what's been going on. I just feel I don't know what the topic was today, but I just believe that Brian's father knew, what was going on.
You think that's why he flew out there to drive home with him?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, if you think about it, I mean, you put yourself in the parents' shoes. You're like, I mean, just think about it. Be like, if you see on the news that there's 4 people that are dead and your son's, your son drives that car, and he just so happens to, I think his father knew or something like that. I know, I mean, if you heard about that on the news, then wouldn't that put you at least 50%?
I am totally with you. Like, it was on national news. They were looking for that Hyundai Elantra white. And your son's from that area. He goes to college in that area, right? And they're looking for that car. Wouldn't you at least say to your son, are they looking for your car? You better call them and tell them it wasn't you, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I just think that, when this stuff happens, they hired all those agents. People were so skeptical. They're like, oh, the cops aren't doing anything and all this and that. You got to give them – I think that they knew – who did it within, with the technology that we have today. I think that they knew within, 48 to 72 hours of who did it. And, they just keep narrowing it down. And so they'll just, that's why they put out the bolo for the white car. And then, so what they'll do is they'll have, their agents watch that person 24/7, night and day until, obviously, if you look at it of, they look at these people, and if you've been living in the town for all these years, and then suddenly you make a break for it, or you try to move away, you know what I mean? I think that the cops were a lot more hip to what was going on. I think they possibly even put a tracker on the car or something like that.
Yep, I totally agree with you. That was definitely a good theory because I feel the same way. I think there's definitely more evidence that we know, and it's very hard to be a criminal nowadays. There's cameras and computers and telephones and everything gets you. So, but thank you for the call, and I appreciate it, man.
All right, man.
All right, thank you.
Thanks so much. By the way, I want to just quickly go over just a few last minute.
We got 1 minute left, guys.
But basically, if you go to thecrimesolver.com, and hopefully Aaron can pull it up, you're not going to be able to see it on TikTok, but on the other platforms. If you go to thecrimesolver.com, you can click on either watch live, you can click on podcast, merchandise. We are giving out some free stuff. We're going to get some stickers together to mail out. You can basically, there's a reward money spot as well that if you know of certain tips that you want to share. There's missing persons that if you know someone that's a missing person that you want us to educate the public, you want to share pictures, video.
Yes.
If you know of someone missing, you can click on missing persons and add the information. We have some stuff in the news, comments, support as well, and contact us if you want to email or mail stuff. And I want to just do 3 last shout outs of supporters. We have Hand and Stone,
Yes.
which I know you're going for a massage tomorrow.
I'm going for a massage there tomorrow, and I'm going to do a TikTok for Hand and Stone. You're going to love it.
Okay, so Hand and Stone is tomorrow. I'm sorry, is a supporter of the Crime Solver.
Yes.
They're in Vegas. If you're in Vegas, to go get a massage. And then also Nationwide Accident Attorneys, which is 1-844 Attorneys. God forbid you get into an accident nationwide. And then locally in Vegas, 702 Justice. If you get into a car accident while you're in Vegas, God forbid it happens. We want to thank those supporters.
And also Go Live Vegas, right?
Absolutely.
This studio is the best. Without them, this podcast wouldn't even be here. Thank you all. I will see you on my next live, and we'll see you next Thursday at 2 p.m. Thanks, Dave.
Have a good one. Be safe out there, guys.